Thank you for tuning into today's collective reading. The energy present within today's reading really feels like there's communication that's trying to come through, but there's filters in place, be it between you and them on your side, or you and them being it could be another person for sure. It could be your spirit guides, it could be your ancestors. It could be just your intuition trying to clear some of these filters by bringing it to your awareness that these filters don't need to be there anymore. So it's the challenge to remove them. So how is this presenting in the collective's experience at this time is going to be unique to each individual. So let's see what the guidance is. I do want to let you know that I will read for assertive and receptive energies. I don't label them masculine or feminine because awareness of self, higher self, divine is not gendered. We are all connected. We are all one. For the first placement is going to be for the element of earth, what is stable, consistent, solid, what you're observing, and really the effect that that is having on you. What about it is needing to be highlighted to kind of help you see through these filters that are clouding your awareness. So speaking to cycles, possibly karmic cycles, patterns that keep repeating in your life, and whether or not you want to change that up a little bit, and if so, how? And what motivates this need for change? There's a protectiveness of a future that you once had in mind that you're not feeling as protective of anymore, simply because you're sensing that because you're receptive to this, you are beginning to receive it, or because you're aware that it is already present, you're changing from being defensive of this possible happy manifestation or future that you've been assertively manifesting, to being in a state of being receptive to this abundance of intuition, love, affection, emotion, awareness. You are definitely assertive in making changes to what you decide to allow to remain in, what you decide to let go, but you're really wanting to make this decision from a balanced perspective. So you've taken the time in earth element to really observe, to pull in all the facets that you can as a consciousness, being aware. Possibly a little bit of a hesitation to speak these truths or these decisions, but you're forming information, you're forming the conclusions. So yeah, there's a definite hesitance, or you really want to speak this truth, these decisions, these conclusions you've come to. And part of this repetitive karmic cycle is there is a filter in place that making it very hard for you to speak this truth. It's possibly confusing your words, or you find yourself stuttering, or there's an emotional aspect that comes into play when you begin to speak your truth and you kind of fumble your words a little bit. But you have found balance with your ego. You've tamed that inner beast. You have connection with heart, which is what's allowing you to really make this decision. Because of this, you're even aware that you can change the cycle from repeating itself. You are in this position at this point because not only are you aware of the karmic cycle, that the healing you've done has allowed you to be receptive to being balanced with your ego, to nurturing your inner child, to being connected to your higher self. The willingness to see the logic behind what you're observing and act upon that because you're receptive to an abundance of intuition, an abundance of love, of emotional health and balance. Even if you do find yourself kind of breaking through this resistance, this filter that's been placed over you, that's causing a bit of a resistance to speak your truth, fight through it, move through it. You're not the only person to have gone through something like this, and whatever truth you have to speak, whoever you have to speak it to. Being that the Queen of Cups is in this placement upright, it's highly likely that this person is empathic, connected, compassionate. They'll understand because they've possibly been misperceived as a result of something similar themselves. So I encourage you to fight through that placement over you that makes it difficult for you to speak your truth, to speak it anyway, even if you fumble it a little bit in your words or you stutter a little bit, to push through it, because that will remove it. It won't be there. And if it is still there, it's going to be greatly weakened because you've already loosened its grip. Moving into the element of air. So what you know, what you've studied, what you've invested your time in cultivating knowledge of. There's an aspect of being part of a group yet separate from it at the same time. It's a lot of thought, a lot of awareness, possibly arising above the storm as well. The flock is, they're just on the outside of it. They're not fully in the storm. You're not alone in this. You do have guidance. You do have allies. And you have a lot of color and vibrance to bring to where you're going, to the destination that you have in mind. There's a bit of a hesitance because of the storm and the rising above, almost as though you don't quite fully understand what's going on and what all the players are. You do know that there is a need for change, and thus you rose above the storm. You elevated above it, and you've embraced the allies that you do have, even if you don't feel that you are a part of the flock. You are associated with it, if you will, at this point. You don't know where you fit, but you know that you're to interact. You're to be in companionship, association, partnership in some way. This rising above and the knowing of the need for change has been something that's been co-created between you and the universe, the divine. And it's because there's so much frustration, energy, so much passion to not be stuck in this storm, to not be grounded, if you will, as the lightning and the tornado and the hurricane and the tsunami. When the chaos hits, it's to rise above it. There's so much energy, so much passion built up from being stuck on the ground for so long that you are able to rise above it, to launch above it, just in time for this landscape below you as a result of the storm to radically change while you're moving on to other things, to better things. Even though you don't quite understand, even though you don't know all the answers, there's a faith, a trust in divine. But that not understanding is definitely a cause for anxiety within you. For the placement of fire, we have that a lot of the answers, what you don't understand, will be coming to you in your dream space. Be you capable of lucid dreaming, be they dreams you've already had and you find yourself kind of reminiscing about them. But you've manifested this space of communication through different timelines. This has a lot to do with processing different timelines, actually. So you may have risen above this storm, and you may know this, but there's still different versions, different timelines where you didn't. And those timelines are stuck in aspects of petty conflict or mock conflict. They're distracted. That's what allowed them to remain where they were instead of rising above. So the invitation in these dream spaces that you encounter any kind of conflicting energy is to acknowledge that they're small energy. They're not major arcana. They are energies that you can, through choice, overcome, change, alter. That there is something to be learned from the conflict present, but you are always safe. And you do have aid from divine present within this, but it is necessary to go through these timelines, if you will, and share these dreams, these interactions with other versions of yourself on different timelines to allow them to have the opportunity to elevate their timeline as well. As you are on a higher timeline, other timeline versions of you can benefit from these interactions and choose higher timelines as a result of your contribution to the dream space. That this dream space you have complete control of. It is not as the same as like the 3D reality. Lucid dreaming, you can control this space. It's being aware of that, being more consciously present, so you know you can alter, that you have the final say, that you direct the dream. That this is part of moving towards and asserting that the foundation for the manifestation that you have coming in, that you have manifested, really, it's part of asserting the stability of the foundation. To also attempt to try to have fun with it, to find the funny in spite of the scary. These experiences, if they are negative in nature, because there's going to be some conflict that's presented, even though you can choose to overcome that just with your choice, the presentation of the situation and the cause or effect then would be to find the funny. Like some people, like right after they're scared, this is probably the best way to put it. I'm trying to find the best way to put it. Right after they're scared, sometimes they will laugh. And that laughter is a direct result of the brain being bathed in these happy chemicals. So to know that if something comes to you, its point is to spook you, scare you, to try to attempt you to buy into you having no power, you having no say, no control within the dream, when in reality you do. To find the funny in that this energy thought that you would buy in, to laugh at it, will completely take away any of its power. The most effective way to take away the power of evil entities, energy, is to laugh. Because really, its only power is through the power that you give it. If you fear it, it is powerful. If you don't fear it and you laugh at it, it has no power. So that is vital for you to be moving through these alternate timelines, because some of these scenarios that'll be presented to you will be a bit jarring, but it's designed to get you to fear it instead of kind of find it a little funny that it thought that you would buy into that kind of a deal. You may have that first initial like, whoa, and then the giggle, the laugh. And the placement of water, moving into the intuitive aspect to this, what the collective is kind of needing a bit more highlighted on, is that you write the story, yes, but this is also speaking to vibration. This is adding a level of music to it. You write the song, you write the music, the melody, the vibration, the harmony. You can hang the moon and the stars how you like. You can change where they all are should you decide to. Simply by changing your own vibration, literally the universe will react and respond. You're not really feeling very passionate about this concept of having these scenarios presented to you that are jarring. So you're not passionately moving towards this. You're not really assertively choosing this, but you do choose the overwhelming abundance of intuition and love and abundance within your life. So part of that is working with the other timeline versions of yourself. That's part of being higher vibe, if you will, of time jumping, timeline jumping. Also, you're questioning whether or not things are really greener on this side. The answer there is pretty clear, that you'd rather be on this side than be one of the timelines where you're coming to them to assist them. You'd rather be of the higher timeline because of the presence of that abundance. You're receptive to creating this foundation and attempting to find that play, that fun within it. But you're not being deceptive and saying that you feel like you're owning that, because you're not there yet. But the possibility is definitely there for you to own that completely. All of your decisions at this time can change everything here. They can change things that you're hesitant about into things that you own. Things that you're not so sure of can become things that you feel confident in as a result of decisions you make in your daily life. But there can also be lessons for you, aspects of you that are present in these timelines that can highlight areas within your current timeline that you can really feel a gratitude for, an appreciation for the presence of X or Y or Z. Can I get some additional oracle cards to assist in this kind of teeter-totter space? Like the decision, there's so much that has been collected of information from different aspects of you, within you. Ground this to make this something far more consistent, to assist in the integration of the information. Well, for one, this is something that you have been called to do. to share whatever gift this is of light, your abilities, your intuitive gifts, as well as your knowledge on your current timeline, your awareness. You're being called to guide and to assist your guides in assisting your previous timeline, your other timeline selves as well. You're not alone. You have a very strong connection, and to never question whether or not you're safe, that is a surety present within this state. It's part of why you're capable of finding the funny, because you don't fear you're not safe. You know you have that control. It's just owning the work in a way that is an embracing, a joyful experience, which leads to finding the funny. And for the aspect of you that is finding it difficult to speak your truth because of this filter that's between you and your intuition, you and speaking that truth, there is definite, if you're open to it, if you're receptive, there is divine support present for you to aid in allowing you to know that you're supportive in activating this and the removal of that barrier, of that block. It's almost as if you haven't talked for so long that there's some cobwebs in there. To embrace this light, to know that this is part of your mission, to not give up because it feels like oppression. It's actually an opportunity to overcome, to become more aware of how powerful you can be when you stand in your truth, when you stand in the power of love and light and become a channel for yourself and other timeline versions of yourself, other multiverses, if you will, that are playing out when you become a channel for that light to transform, to transmute, to assist in raising everybody's vibration. All of these energies you interact with, in a way, they're like divine assignments. These other versions of you have unlocked the opportunity to be able to connect with the vibration that you can assist in channeling to them. And really to not give up. If something is really disturbing, you speak to about it. Speak to divine about it. Communicate about it. Divine will find a way to communicate back with you. If you need specific synchronicities, ask for, synchronicity that you can't dismiss, something that you will know is a answer. Your relationship with divine is yours. It's unique. It's beautiful. No one else will have that exact relationship. To cultivate this relationship on this calling at this point is going to be a very strong tool that you can use to help yourself unlock information stored within you and to open that confidence in the foundation between you and divine, that you're not alone, you're safe. Whatever you need, especially if you express you need it, will be brought to you. So use your free will in these situations with things that are bothering you, that are getting to you, that feel too much for you to carry, things that you need clarification on, knowledge about, understanding, and asking for that. They can finally help you because they want to help you. They can't until you use your will to open the door to this knowledge, to this awareness, to these answers. Really, it's all in your hands what occurs. You have the free will. All right, and that'll conclude today's timeless collective reading. I do hope that you found some peace, some confirmation, found some personal synchronicities within this reading that we have co-created. Thank you very much for co-creating this reading with me. I'm very grateful for each and every one of you. Namaste.